Children in Gaza reenact a funeral procession during play, showcasing the resilience and creativity of young people living in one of the world's most conflict-ridden regions. In the video, published by a Palestinian content creator, children carefully lift their doll on a stretcher to reenact a funeral as they play together in a displacement camp in Gaza. The scene highlights the ways in which children in Gaza are finding ways to cope with the trauma of living under siege. The fact that these children can find joy and normalcy in playing out a summer scenario speaks to their resourcefulness and ability to adapt. Looking ahead, this story underscores the need for continued support and resources to help children in Gaza access education, healthcare, and other essential services that can help them thrive despite the challenges they face. Spain has closed its airspace to U.S. warplanes that are part of the ongoing conflict with Iran. This move comes as tensions between the U.S. and Iran escalate, with the U.S. launching a drone strike on Iranian General Qasem Soleimani in January. The U.S. military has been using Spanish airbases as a key staging ground for operations against Iran, but Spain's decision marks a significant shift in its stance on the conflict. This move is seen as a response to growing public opposition to the war in the country. Looking ahead, it remains to be seen how this development will impact the U.S. military's ability to conduct operations in the region and what other countries may follow suit in rejecting U.S. involvement in the conflict. Israel has passed a law making the death penalty mandatory for Palestinians convicted of deadly attacks, sparking widespread outrage and condemnation from around the world. The move has been met with fierce resistance from European governments, human rights groups, and the Palestinian community, who argue that it violates international law and sets a dangerous precedent. The law, which was approved by Israel's parliament last week, is seen as a major escalation in the country's treatment of Palestinians, particularly those accused of militant activity. Critics say it undermines efforts to promote reconciliation and peace between Israelis and Palestinians. The European Union has already expressed its deep concern over the law, with several member states vowing to take action against Israeli goods and services. Looking ahead, it remains to be seen how Israel will implement this new law, particularly in cases involving minors or those who were coerced into committing acts of violence. With tensions between Israelis and Palestinians remaining high, this development has significant implications for the already fragile peace process. King Charles should meet Epstein victims, U.S. lawmaker says. The British royal family is facing renewed scrutiny over its ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, with a U.S. lawmaker calling for King Charles to meet with his alleged victims. Last year, the monarch was stripped of his titles due to his association with Epstein, who lost their lives in prison in 2019 while awaiting trial. The request for the king's appearance has been made by a U.S. lawmaker, but it is unlikely he will be forced to comply as he cannot be subpoenaed into the U.S. King Charles had previously denied any wrongdoing and claimed he was unaware of Epstein's crimes. Looking ahead, this development highlights the ongoing struggle for accountability among those who enabled or benefited from Epstein's abuse and raises questions about the extent to which the royal family's connections to him will continue to impact their public image. A quote from an Australian film has been officially recognised for its cultural significance by the National Film and Sound Archive of Australia. The quote, which includes phrases like "Gentlemen, this is democracy manifest and get your hand off my penis," was spoken by actor John Waters in the 1972 film The Cars That Ate Paris. This recognition highlights the enduring impact of Australian cinema on national identity and culture. The NFSA decision to preserve these quotes for future generations underscores the importance of preserving Australia's rich cultural heritage. By recognising the significance of this quote, the archive is providing a window into the country's history and values. Looking ahead, this recognition will likely inspire new generations of filmmakers and Australians to continue exploring and celebrating their unique cultural identity through film. A helicopter flyby at Kid Rock's mansion in Tennessee has sparked an administrative review by the U.S. Army, according to officials. The incident occurred on October 28, when a military helicopter flew low over the singer's property without prior authorization. Details surrounding the event are still unclear, but authorities have launched an investigation to assess the mission and verify compliance with airspace regulations. This probe aims to determine if any violations were committed and whether appropriate action will be taken as a result. Looking ahead, This incident highlights the importance of adhering to established protocols for military operations in close proximity to private properties. The outcome of this review will provide insight into how the U.S. Army balances national security interests with personal property rights.